Okay, so have you ever felt like navigating the different worlds of Web3 is kind of like needing like a dozen different passports and wallets? Like, you need this one for that and this one for this, and it's a lot, right?
Yeah, totally.
What if there was like a magic crypto wand that you could wave and like poof, suddenly all those accounts, all those separate wallets just like disappeared,
Oh, wow.
and you could unlock everything in Web3 with just one key?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right?
Yeah, it is.
But we found a project that's really seriously trying to make this happen. And what we found has the potential to completely change the game when it comes to how we interact with crypto.
Definitely a game changer.
Yeah. So whether you're like super deep into DeFi protocols or just starting to learn about crypto, this deep dive into the PARTI token and particle network could give you a real advantage.
For sure.
So stick around because we're going to uncover some really interesting stuff, including an opportunity you might regret missing out on.
Absolutely. Yeah, you sent over a really, really fascinating mix of information, like everything from those YouTube videos that are always trying to predict the next big crypto thing.
Oh, yeah.
To like the official deep dives into the technology straight from Particle Network themselves.
Right.
So our mission today is to like cut through the noise, and give you the clear, like the crucial information about what they're actually trying to build, the role that the PARTI token plays in all of this, and what makes it truly stand out in the crazy world of Web3.
Yeah, and this isn't just for the crypto experts out there. This is for everyone who wants to get a good grasp on what's happening in crypto without needing to learn like a whole new language. We're going to focus on like why it matters and what you need to know, the stuff you can actually use. And if you're looking for those early opportunities with crypto projects, well, let's just say the end of this deep dive will be especially interesting.
Very interesting indeed.
So first things first, what exactly is Particle Network? You might have heard them described as an intent-centric modular access layer of Web3. Quite a mouthful, right?
It is a mouthful.
Let's break it down. So think of Particle Network as basically building a much simpler way for you to interact and do things across all those different blockchains out there.
Yeah, it's like right now it feels like you need a different bank account and a different currency for every single online store that you want to shop at.
Ugh, it's the worst, right?
It's a hassle.
You've got your Ethereum for this, your Solana for that, and then trying to move stuff between them, bridging, is just a nightmare.
Tell me about it.
Particle Network's big idea is this thing called chain abstraction. It's like having one universal payment method that works everywhere.
Right.
They're aiming for a future where you have one account, one balance. You can use it on any chain.
Yeah. And the exciting part is how this could like completely transform the user experience.
Yeah.
Imagine you want to buy something on a brand new dApp that uses a blockchain you've never even touched before. Right now, that usually means setting up a new wallet, maybe getting some of that blockchain's own currency just to pay for the transaction, and then maybe even bridging your existing assets over there. Yeah. It's a lot.
It's so much work.
Particle Network wants to make that entire process completely seamless. You could pay with whatever crypto you already have, and the network just handles all the complicated stuff behind the scenes to make that cross-chain transaction happen.
That would be a game changer.
Totally.
Okay, so one balance any chain sounds amazing, but how does it actually work? What's going on under the hood? What are the pieces that make this chain abstraction thing possible?
So they're building a few key components. The first one is universal accounts. So think of this as your one digital ID that can hold all your assets, and like your transaction history, across all those different blockchains that are connected to Particle Network.
Oh, okay.
And then there's universal liquidity. So
Yeah.
right now we have these separate pools of liquidity, like say Ethereum and stablecoins kind of locked up on different blockchains, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine a system where all that liquidity is connected and can be accessed and used much more efficiently for those cross-chain swaps.
So it's like one massive interconnected marketplace instead of all these isolated little shops.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's essential for those smooth cross-chain transactions we were talking about.
Right, because if you want to swap one token for another on a different chain right now, you have to go through like a million steps and fees along the way.
Oh, so many steps.
This universal liquidity sounds like it could make that so much easier.
Oh, for sure.
What about those annoying gas fees, though? Having to have a little bit of each blockchain's native token just to use them is a pain.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's where universal gas comes in.
Yeah.
They want to eliminate that friction by letting you pay for transaction fees using any asset that you hold. You wouldn't necessarily need ETH for Ethereum transactions or Matic for Polygon anymore. It's like one gas for everything.
One gas to rule them all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and powering all of this is the particle chain,
Right.
which is their own layer 1 blockchain. It's like the brains of the operation, the coordination hub that makes sure all these different parts, the universal accounts, the liquidity, the gas, all work together smoothly and securely.
So the particle chain is the engine. These universal features are the tools. And now let's talk about the fuel, the PARTI token. What does it actually do in this ecosystem?
Yeah, so the particle network team describes PARTI as like the economic heart of the system. It's what powers the particle chain, and it's the coordination mechanism for those universal accounts we discussed.
Okay.
It has a few main jobs. The first one is it's used to pay for transactions within the ecosystem. So whether it's a cross-chain swap or a developer launching a new dApp party will likely be used to cover those fees on the particle chain.
So it's the native currency for their chain, and it helps make these cross-chain things happen. What else does it do?
Well, it's also designed to reward people who are actively participating in the network. This could be developers who build cool new dApps on Particle Network or users who are just using the ecosystem.
Right.
And importantly, there's been talk about the potential for staking PARTI. This would let token holders lock up their tokens and potentially earn rewards, which is a good way to encourage long-term holding and participation in keeping the network secure.
Yeah, staking can be a nice way to earn some passive income for those early birds. Now, let's dig a little deeper into the PARTI token itself. How many tokens are there and how are they being distributed? That's always important to understand when looking at a cryptocurrency.
So this is where things get a little tricky depending on where you look. We've seen some sources reporting a total supply of around 488 million tokens, and others indicating a cap supply of 1 billion, with about 233 million actually circulating right now.
Wow, that's a big difference.
It is. So the exact total supply seems to be a little bit unclear at this point. It's something to keep in mind and maybe do some extra research on.
Definitely worth looking into. What about the tokens that are actually available to trade right now, though?
So the circulating supply seems to be more consistently reported at around 20% to 25% of the total supply, whatever the real number is.
Oh.
But what's also really important to know is that there are these token unlocks coming up.
Oh, wait.
One source we looked at said that a big chunk, like maybe 18% of the current circulating supply, could be released into the market in October, and then another 9% and 8% in the months after that.
Wow, that's a lot of new tokens hitting the market in a short amount of time that could have a real impact on the price.
For sure, an increase in circulating supply can sometimes push the price down, so it's definitely something to keep in mind if you're thinking about getting involved with PARTI.
Yeah, good to know. So let's shift gears a bit and talk about what makes particle networks stand out in the crowded world of Web3. What makes them unique?
Yeah, good question, because there are so many layer 1 blockchains and projects all trying to solve this interoperability thing.
Right.
So what's Particle Network doing differently? Well, one big thing is their focus on user experience, or UX. They want to make interacting with Web3 incredibly simple, like as easy as using a regular crypto exchange.
Oh, wow.
And their Universal X platform is a perfect example of this. It's billed as the first truly chain-agnostic trading app. You can trade any token on any connected blockchain without having to bridge your assets.
That sounds like it could be huge for anyone who's dealt with the headache of bridging.
Oh, absolutely. No
Right.
more waiting forever for transactions to go through. And then the whole concept of universal accounts, being able to manage all your assets and make transactions across multiple blockchains with just one ID, that's another big thing that sets them apart.
Yeah, they're really going all in on making this multi-chain experience easier and more appealing to a wider audience.
Exactly.
They must have some serious backing to tackle such a big and complex project.
Oh, they do. Particle Network has a whole network of partnerships, and they've got investments from some major players like Binance Labs and even Alibaba.
Oh.
Now, the details of Alibaba's investment weren't super clear in the materials you sent, but their involvement definitely shows a lot of confidence in the project. And they're getting traction with developers too. A lot of devs are using their software development kit or SDK, and there have been tons of downloads, which means the builder community is interested.
So they've got the easy-to-use tools like Universal X, the big idea of universal accounts, strong partnerships, and growing developer interest. That's a pretty compelling package. But what about growth potential, and how's the market feeling about Particle Network and the PARTI token?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There are a few things that could really boost their growth: increased adoption of dApps built on their network, more listings on big exchanges, and a general trend towards more user-friendly and interoperable blockchain solutions across the industry. All of those could create some positive momentum.
So if more people start using those dApps and the market embraces this idea of seamless cross-chain interaction, then
Then we could definitely see some exciting things happening if adoption takes off and more party tokens get locked up through staking or used within the ecosystem. The price could potentially go way beyond its previous highs. But it's important to remember the potential downsides too, like if the overall crypto market takes a hit, those upcoming token unlocks could increase supply and put downward pressure on the price. Or if Particle Network struggles to prove its usefulness and attract users, that could also lead to price drops.
So there are risks and rewards like with any crypto project, right?
Exactly.
What about the current market valuation for Particle Network?
So from what we've seen, the fully diluted valuation is estimated to be around $400 million, with a circulating market cap closer to $92 million.
Okay.
This suggests that there's still a lot of room for growth if the project really takes off. But it's worth noting that one source mentioned that the initial market cap might have been pretty high, which could mean that those huge short-term gains might be less likely. The good news is Party is listed on major exchanges like Binance, Bybit, and OKX, so it's easy to get hold of, which is usually a good sign.
And how's the overall sentiment in the crypto community? Are people optimistic, skeptical, or somewhere in between?
The general feeling seems to be positive, especially among the people who believe in the long-term vision and the technology itself. But like always, short-term traders are more focused on price swings and the token unlocks.
That makes sense. Now, one thing new crypto projects often do to build excitement is airdrops and community engagement. What's Particle Network doing in this area?
So they've already done an initial airdrop for Party, but more recently they introduced something called Party Diamonds, which are basically points you can earn by using their Universal X platform.
Okay.
This seems to hint that they might do more rewards or even airdrops for users who are actively involved in their ecosystem, and right now they're running Season 0 of this Party Diamonds campaign.
So they're encouraging people to actually use their platform. That's cool. How do you earn these diamonds?
The main way is by trading on the Universal X mainnet, but it's not just any trading. It has to be with specific tokens. They call them primary tokens, and it's mostly USDT, USDC, ETH-BTC, and SOL on Arbitrum and Ethereum.
Interesting.
Oh, and people who participated in the early testnet phase, the Particle Pioneer, got an OG booster, which helps them earn diamonds faster.
So early involvement gets rewarded. I like that. Is there anything else people should know about these diamonds or using Universal X?
Yeah, one really crucial thing to remember is that the universal account address you use on Particle Network is different from your regular crypto wallet address. And right now it seems like you can't export the private key for that universal account.
Oh, wow. So that's a big security consideration, especially if you're planning to hold a lot of assets in there.
Exactly. One source even said to be careful and not deposit large sums because you don't have full control of your private key right now. Yeah. Definitely something for people to be aware of. Let's go back to the technology for a second. You mentioned universal accounts and chain abstraction before. Can you give us a more concrete picture of how those actually work in practice?
Sure. So Particle Network's main goal is to break down the walls between all these different blockchains. They want you to be able to use multiple blockchains through one unified interface.
That'd be nice.
Right. And their Particle Wallet as a Service, or WAS. And the upcoming ZK WAS, which stands for Zero Knowledge WAS, are key parts of this. They're designed to make it much easier for new people to get into crypto and to interact with dApps by using things like social logins and account abstraction techniques.
Social logins for crypto wallets, that sounds a lot less intimidating than dealing with seed phrases.
Totally. It makes it so much easier to get started. And then they have this intent fusion protocol, which is really interesting. It lets you express what you want to do, your intent, in a simple way. And then the network handles all the complex steps to make it happen across different blockchains. So like if I wanted to earn a certain yield on a specific asset, I could just say, that's what I want to do. And the protocol would figure out the best way to make it happen.
Exactly. It would interact with all the different DeFi protocols on different chains and find the most efficient way to get you that yield.
That's super powerful. So it's not just about seeing all your balances in one place. It's about making those complicated multi-chain actions super simple.
Exactly. And for compatibility, they already support a bunch of EVM-compatible chains and Solana. So they're aiming for broad interoperability across the major players.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay, so this has been a really in-depth look at Particle Network and its potential, but our listeners are always looking for opportunities. We did promise a big reveal at the start. What are the earning opportunities for PARTI holders or people who want to get involved?
So besides the potential for the Party token to increase in value over time, the most obvious earning opportunity right now is by actively participating in the ecosystem, specifically by earning those Party diamonds on the Universal X platform. They've said that the goal of these diamonds is to reward users with more party airdrops or other benefits down the road.
Oh,
So if you want to potentially grow your party holdings, keep an eye out for announcements about how those diamonds will be converted into party or other rewards as the diamond seasons go on. That seems like the best way to benefit right now.
so it's about actively using their platform now to potentially reap the rewards later.
Yeah, exactly. And remember that to earn diamonds, you need to trade those specific tokens on Universal X. And like with any trading, there are always risks involved.
Right. Always good to remember that, well, you've just heard a really thorough breakdown of Particle Network and its Party Tate token. You've learned about their ambitious plan to unify Web3, how the token works, and different perspectives on its potential for growth in this ever-changing crypto space. This idea of chain abstraction could really revolutionize how accessible and user-friendly decentralized tech becomes. And Particle Network is putting themselves in a strong position to lead the charge.
For sure.
So imagine a future where moving between blockchains is as simple as switching between apps on your phone. How do you think that would change how we think about and use dApps and our digital assets? What crazy new possibilities would open up when the technical barriers between chains vanish?
That's a great question to ponder.
It really is. And speaking of opportunities, our friends at Bitchit are offering a special deal for our listeners. You can use the deal code here to get discounts on your trading fees. It's a great way to explore Particle Network and the crypto world at large. But as always, do your own research and understand the risks before investing in anything.
Always good advice.
Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive into Particle Network. We hope this is giving you a clearer understanding of what they're doing and what the Party token is all about.
Yeah, it's been a great conversation.
What other questions do you have about Party or this whole concept of chain abstraction? Let us know. Your curiosity might just inspire our next deep dive.
We're always looking for new topics to explore.
Thanks again for listening.
See ya.